exactly be wishing them a happy birthday years later. But whatever. Yes, and then sold the baby, lived down the road. So the daughter apparently lived down the road with a relative that Barb knew. Yeah, and then she met her daughter in a hospital because Barb had sinus cancer, and the daughter was her night nurse. And then shortly after they get introduced to each other, the daughter is unfortunately murdered by her husband for having a miscarriage, which is insane. But the daughter also had liver cancer, apparently. And then she was thrown over a couch, she hit a table, and it like ruptured her liver. And then at one point in the clip I'm about to play, you're going to hear Wolf say that essentially her going up to the 7th floor, the altitude change caused her liver to explode. And then she died. But even though she only met her, like, she basically says at one point, I had so many I can't do it for this. I have so many family members that died between March and August. So your daughter dies, I think it was like April 1st. So your daughter dies on April 1st. You barely met her even that year. So within like 2-3 months, she signs over everyone's life insurance or estates to you. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Very weird.
So let's get into the daughter, and then we can get into the granddaughters and the and then the grandson that she called a waterhead mongoloid baby. Yes, which you can see here. Frowny face. God. But yeah, in the order of deaths, so I'll say the order of the deaths and then I'll play the daughter clip. But yeah, so the grandson dies, who she doesn't even remember his name, who is a waterhead mongoloid baby. Then her daughter dies. And then somehow 2 of the 3 granddaughters die, but then her son-in-law dies in prison. And then the last granddaughter dies. But then the godfather or whatever of her daughter was an attorney and he had all their money. So he got it all, but then he died. But then his wife died. But then the wife died from cancer, and then her son died in a truck accident. But then her 13-year-old was so upset about his mom dying that he drank bleach and died. And then that is how Barb got all the money. I know how that sounds. I know. Listen.
Barb kills everyone off. Okay?
I know how that sounds.
I'm recording this. Citrus is live because Barb is gonna claim it and take it down.
So my big thing for a lot of this, though, is that she's like, basically everybody fucking died in a matter of 5 months.
Everybody.
And then the state of Texas won't release the money, even though I have a clip of her saying that she gets about $1,000, or she gives $1,000 a month to St. Jude's from one of the dead granddaughters' estates.
Yes, she gets
but if
food
Texas
stamps.
has it locked up, then how do you give money to St. Jude's?
She gets food stamps.
That doesn't make sense. That's a great question. This is also a good reminder, something that I only realized recently too. So the creation of the daughter and the creation of the granddaughters, the grandson, all of that, they all died about the same time.
Yes.
That her son went no contact.
Yes.
So my tinfoil hat kind of armchair therapist self is like, so your son and his spouse has a personal protective order against you, and they cut off contact,
right? And
then shortly afterwards you happen to meet your daughter, long lost daughter, who lived only 2 blocks away, but then within like the matter of 5 months
they're all dead.
Of her family
all of these
die
people
in horrific ways. It's just the lining, the timing of her like not having contact with her child, and then the creation of this family, and then she goes through and brutally kills all of them.
And details
It's just kind of a weird coping mechanism for being rejected.
It's her sickness.
Restraining order, much. Oh, okay. See, okay.
Yeah, she has a restraining order.
Okay, I get confused. So I thought personal protective order was like you're already about to lose both your feet from that unregulated diabetes.
Thinking about me, right? So, no. See, I keep my vows with God.
No, you don't. You're
I
still
don't
married.
love any other man but my husband, Wolf.
He's your boyfriend.
You're living in sin with your boyfriend.
Our vows are there. You can go and see it. I think it was my first and second video. It says what it is there. People, they're insane. And the lady from the news says that makes them dangerous. So,
there's
but
no
you know
lady
what?
from
I'm
the
wondering
news.
if the judge, since he's taken so long to make a decision on it, you know, we sent almost 200 sheets of paper, 150 to 200 sheets of paper to him. I wonder if he's reading every one of them. I think that's what it is. Yep.
A judge wouldn't really read that stuff.
No.
From what I know, like it
she
would
sent
be the
pictures of her epoxy work.
Who would like go through it. At least I have like a few friends who are like new lawyers being rejected.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought, okay, interesting.
Okay.
So anyway, all of these clips are actually they're quite old.
Okay.
Obviously,
here we go. I'm up to speed now.
Odd, she doesn't speak about the daughter and she doesn't speak about the grandkids.
Not anymore.
And even in her genealogy tree,
she doesn't list
her son.
Yeah.
She doesn't list her daughter?
Or her grandkids.
Why don't you list your daughter, Barbara, on your genealogy tree?
Yeah. Just because they're dead.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Good catch. Didn't even think of it.
I'm short-winded because of it.
Oh, God. Don't choke.
But that's just part of my life. That's what I deal with a lot.
Death.
Murder.
I just don't want to sneeze and it go flat again.
Where's my Kleenex?
The night that my daughter figured out who I was, and then she asked her godfather the next day. I was up on 7th floor at Lake Terrell Memorial Hospital. This old plug in my nose.
No.
Thank you.
Tampon? Rhino rocket?
Ding, ding, ding. Oh my gosh.
She made them up while she was laying in the hospital bed.
And then I think I included the clip, but basically she tries to explain away the restraining order by saying that his ex stole her identity or something.
What?
And committed fraud on her name.
Oh, God.
And it's like, but then
why
would they get a restraining order against you if they did something wrong against you?
Right. That doesn't even make sense. Typical Barb.
Sense. Also, I've had a THC drink. It is lovely. It is cranberry ginger ale. So tasty. But I'm not going to have another one because otherwise I'll be incoherent. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Olaf, you'll remember this really insane clip where she's like, this is a picture of my grandbaby.
Yeah.
And then she like sticks out her tongue. She's like, sometimes I see the picture and I go, eh. And it's like, it's really unhinged.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame her son.
I remember the name of the baby, but I'm not going to say it in case it actually is the baby's name. But yeah, there's a clip. I have this. I think I have it somewhere. But yeah, she's like, she has a picture of the child, but no one has sent her pictures of the child because no one talks to her for obvious reasons. I mean, people on the fucking internet are going after her. Imagine being related to her.
God.
You know?
I feel sorry for her son.
Years now. Her name's Stephanie, and she is. I want to do blue and purple. You sound like my daughter Elizabeth. She would part her hair right here. She'd do this blue.
I'm so sorry, Elizabeth, that you share a name with Barb's daughter.
This purple, or maybe this black and this blue, and that's how she was.
That's how she was.
Start with a bloody nose. Get with your doctor, please, as fast as you can.
For a bloody nose. It'll be cancer.
6.5 years ago, I was bleeding so bad, Wolf brought me in the hospital here.
Oh my God, listen to the
put
voice.
a nose plug in my nose. Started going through the right sinuses down my stomach, and I was throwing up and throwing up and throwing up blood.
Could have been from high blood pressure.
It was meant to be.
What? What?
My long lost daughter was my night nurse.
Long
I got
lost.
to meet her and all that. And it wasn't Child Protection Services or I gave her up. I'm not going to talk about that. But we got to meet each other again.
But she does
And
talk
then I
about it.
lost her to cancer of the liver.
That is true. I'm so sorry. You know what's really strange? Like, there's other people I know, like, that are named Barb, Barbara, Barbie, whatever, and I make no connection mentally
No.
between them and this Barbara,
No.
which is kind of crazy.
Sorry,
sometimes
his
when I
audio
hear,
is
like, I meet
kinda-
someone who's awful, then everyone with that name, I'm
I
instantly
can't
like,
keep turning
"Are
it
you
up
gonna
and
be like
down
them?"
because this
But with
tablet's
her,
weird.
she's just so fucking awful that I guess my brain's like, no, don't be scared when you see the name Barb.
I'm trying to block the sound.
It's not a danger. It's just, oof. Oh my God. That sounds, what a unique experience, I gotta say.
Geez.
That is, huh.
I don't think I would. She had a fight with her husband. He threw her over the sofa and she hit her side on a coffee table. A few days later, she passed out going to work and lost her. How to do some more on this puzzle.
Okay.
Fine, Shaz.
Oh, she's stoned.
It just so happened she gave me the custody of her 3 children.
Nobody would.
She had 4.
One by one.
The dad.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, sorry. So that means she gave Barb custody
of the girls
after the grandson had already died.
Right.
Denise, you know what I feel like then? One by one,
the dad.
My granddaughters passed away.
She's sick.
From March to August. Each in
5 months.
So basically an entire family was wiped out in about 6 months. I've had to deal with life insurance. I had a parent die. I was the sole beneficiary. I get it. It's a weird thing. But with insurance policies, that's the thing too. She kind of gets confused between life insurance versus an estate.
An estate.
Because they're very different things.
Very.
Estates versus life insurance are different. But my computer's doing something weird again. Okay, there we go. God damn it. Anyway, it looks like it freezes, and then I'm like, oh shit. Anyway, if things are suspicious surrounding the deaths, they're not going to pay out anything. And basically, you get custody of these children, and then all of them die in 4 months?
You would be investigated by the police.
What?
Seriously.
Of course no one's going to pay that out. That looks fucking fishy.
Yeah.
a different way. It was just not meant for me to have that family.
It's all about her.
But they're my angels. There's
Yeah.
the one I think of. I feel the closest.
The actress.
PTSD is booming. 1978, I'd have been in labor right now for my daughter. My ex-husband kidnapped her and sold her.
Yep.
I never did get to see her then. I've been searching for her my whole life. Never knew she lived 2 blocks away from me. Not 2 blocks. Sorry, I take that. 2 acres, which in the country is just about 2 blocks, 2 houses down.
Those are
I was
tiny
in Memorial Hospital. I was
plots.
bleeding so bad they put one of those giant nose plugs in, and then the blood traveled to this way, and it was still. I spent over 4 nights and I think 5 days in there. My night nurse said she looks familiar, and the nurse working with her said, well, if the lights was on, I'd say she looks like you.
Poor thing.
Sorry. Yes, I think I have actually some clips of her claiming this, and she's like blaming stats or something. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And then like, oh, because the trolls, Texas locked it down. But then also how is she taking $1,000 a month to giving it to St. Jude's from the dead granddaughter's estate. Or
How would
life
she get
insurance
food
or whatever,
stamps if she has
if
that
it's
much
locked up.
money?
Meh. That's the other thing too. So it's like, so your husband just sold off your child and you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But then literally yesterday you're saying, "Oh, and happy birthday to my first husband."
Yeah.
Again, like I said earlier, I don't know if like someone sold off if one of my parents sold off one of my brothers, I wouldn't speak to them again.
And I'd report them.
Excuse? Yeah. She was blaming a lot. The clip I saw, she was like, because of that, and like others. Yeah, those clips are kind of crazy.
I had my divorce attorney back in 91. His boy was in our Boy Scout troop. We stayed friends. He called me one day after I got out of the hospital. He says, "I think there's somebody that wants to see you." Now, the birth certificate wasn't filled out right in the first place. My first husband only put his middle name in it. That's it.
What?
So the hospital let a baby go that was freshly born with a birth certificate that wasn't even filled out correctly. And like, I think the timing would be that because her only child is born in 75. So I think that means the daughter would be like born in 78-ish. But regardless, you're saying he took a freshly born baby with not even a fully filled out birth certificate
and kidnapped her and
then,
sold her.
What? Sold it to
people down the block.
Someone down the street? But then you're nice to these people because the person that he sold the daughter to, Barb was friendly with. And I don't know about you, but like, again, if that ever didn't happen, but like if it ever happened, why would you be so fucking friendly?
Right.
To like this godfather or whoever who took in the daughter.
Right.
You're like, hey, you're the fucking idiot.
Right.
Who purchased my baby. Like, the fuck? It doesn't
Nothing
make sense.
Makes sense. And she wonders why people question her.
Yeah. Didn't think about that. I did not think about that. Yeah. Again, it's a matter of just inconsistencies.
Right.
And she can say that it's like, oh, you're making fake stuff up or you're taking stuff out of context.
It's your words.
But if you're making a full statement and then a month later or even in the same stream, you say something that counteracts that statement or makes that other statement somehow appear now like a lie, it's not faking stuff.
No.
You know, it's just pointing out that you can't keep your story straight. And when you're talking about the death of children
in detail,
that's kind of important.
And it's gruesome.
Oh, well, apparently she like saw the resemblance, but she's like, but her nose was bigger. Oh, okay. That's weird.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
The pressure change could cause it to rupture. And I know this because that's how Barbara's daughter died.
Okay, so that first part, this is where Wolf is saying, taking an elevator to the 7th floor, the pressure change because of the altitude is what caused her liver to
explode. Medically, no, that doesn't happen.
To rupture. And I know this because that's how Barbara's daughter died. She had a weak spot on her liver, and she got injured there a second time and went to work 3 days later at the hospital, same one Barbara's in. And when she went up to the 7th floor, on her way up to the 7th floor, her liver ruptured. And she didn't make it. Your blood filters, your blood filters through your liver. Every drop of blood that is in your body goes through your liver. And they couldn't pump blood into her fast enough. And they couldn't stop the bleeding. And
from what I remember, like basically how it lines up, they've been dating because they're not married. They've been dating since like, what was it? 2008, 2010 or whatever. And
2009.
The death of the air quotes daughters would be like 2016, 2017, I think. So yeah, they were together, and then that's where it's weird, because it's like, you know,
he's worse than Barb. He's worse than Barb.
Like, I don't understand why does he literally just ignore her all the time? And
He's
like,
worse.
Okay, sure.
Because
what
look,
else is it?
Here,
If it's not,
I'm not going to have enough memory to get all of this. Here's my thing. Rick is worse. I don't understand what his long game is, but he's playing a long game. They're not legally married. Okay? She's still legally married to her second husband because he has all the money. He has the house that they live in. He lives next door. All kinds of shit. She's his power of attorney, which is really frightening. He has, I guess, no family to protect him. But here's the thing. Barb has mental illness. She is delusional and mentally ill. But Rick Wolf feeds it. He feeds it. And that's worse. That is criminal. And you know, when EJ dies, the second husband, and Barb gets the payout, Barb's going to end up crumping pretty fast because I don't think Wolf wants to share. Keep listening to Citrus because Barb's going to take this down.